Let's clarify the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 210.52b2, which states small appliance branch circuit shall have no other outlets. This doesn't mean the circuits can only supply countertop receptacles and refrigeration equipment. It means these circuits cannot supply any other type of outlet. This includes, firstly, lighting fixtures, secondly, general-purpose receptacles other than those in countertops, and thirdly, appliance outlets such as those for ranges or dishwashers. To meet the requirement of 210.52b2, each of the two small appliance branch circuits must be dedicated to supplying only countertop receptacles and refrigeration equipment if applicable. Section 210.52b allows these small appliance branch circuits to also supply additional outlets in the same kitchen, such as under cabinet lighting or ground fault circuit interrupter receptacles in the sink area. However, these additional outlets must also be countertop receptacles or be located in close proximity to countertops. Here's a typical kitchen setup. You'll find two dedicated small appliance branch circuits, each supplying only countertop receptacles. Then there is one additional small appliance branch circuit supplying under cabinet lighting and a ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle in the sink area. It's important to note that the small appliance branch circuits must be calculated in accordance with Article 220 of the National Electrical Code, which specifies the minimum ampacity and branch circuit protection requirements for specific applications. Let's delve deeper into the requirements for small appliance branch circuits as outlined in the National Electrical Code. The code stipulates in 210.11 that the minimum branch circuit requirement for a dwelling shall be determined from a load calculation. This means assessing the total electrical demand of the dwelling to ensure sufficient circuits are provided. In addition to the branch circuit requirement for other parts of Section 210.11, Section 210.11c states that 2 or more 20 amp small appliance branch circuits shall be provided for all receptacle outlets specified by 210.52b. This is in addition to the load calculation circuits and is specifically for small appliances in the kitchen. These additional circuits are added to the demand at 1500 volt amps per circuit, according to Article 220. Now, let's break down 210.52b. It states that the two small appliance branch circuits provided by 210.11c shall serve all wall and floor receptacle outlets covered by 210.52a, including all countertop outlets covered by 210.52c and refrigeration equipment. This section defines what these small appliance circuits are intended to serve. Next, 210.52b2 clarifies that the small appliance circuit specified in 210.52b shall have no other outlets. This is the point of confusion, which we'll clarify further. Finally, 210.52b3 states that receptacles installed in the kitchen to serve countertop surfaces shall be supplied by not fewer than two small appliance branch circuits, either or both of which shall also be permitted to supply receptacle outlets in the same kitchen and in other rooms specified in 210.52b. Let's re-emphasize what 210.52b2 means by stating no other outlets. It aims to prevent these small appliance circuits from being used for other types of loads, ensuring they are primarily dedicated to countertop appliances and refrigeration. The code intends to ensure that the kitchen has sufficient power for the appliances typically used on countertops without being burdened by other electrical demands. To reiterate, no other outlets does not restrict the location of the outlets, but the type of load they serve. These circuits can supply receptacles for countertop appliances and refrigeration. They cannot supply lighting, dedicated appliance circuits like dishwashers, or general-purpose receptacles not associated with countertops. Think of it this way. The small appliance circuits are exclusively for kitchen countertop and refrigeration use, preventing them from being tapped for other purposes that could overload the circuit. Now consider some additional scenarios. Firstly, if under cabinet lighting is installed, it can be powered by one of these small appliance branch circuits, provided it serves the countertop area. Secondly, a ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle near the sink can also be connected to one of these circuits. Thirdly, a refrigerator can be powered by one of these small appliance circuits, or it can have its own dedicated circuit. The main point is that the small appliance circuits must primarily serve countertop receptacles and refrigeration. The other permitted outlets must be closely related to countertop use. The small appliance branch circuits must be calculated per Article 220 of the National Electrical Code. Article 220 guides you in determining the minimum ampacity and branch circuit protection needed for these specific applications. For example, a 20 amp small appliance branch circuit should be wired with 12 American wire gauge copper conductors, protected by a 20 amp circuit breaker. It is also important to ensure that the voltage drop on these circuits is within acceptable limits, especially if the run is long. Excessive voltage drop can cause appliances to operate inefficiently and potentially damage them. Also consider the working space around electrical equipment. The National Electrical Code requires sufficient working space around electrical panels and other equipment to ensure safe access for maintenance and repairs. Be aware of local amendments to the National Electrical Code. Local jurisdictions may have amendments or additional requirements to the National Electrical Code. Always check with the local building department or electrical inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Some common mistakes to avoid include: firstly, using 14 American wire gauge wire on a 20 amp small appliance circuit. Secondly, mixing lighting and general purpose receptacles on small appliance circuits. Thirdly, failing to provide at least 2 small appliance branch circuits in the kitchen. Fourthly, not protecting countertop receptacles with ground fault circuit interrupters where required. Finally, overloading small appliance circuits by connecting too many appliances. Let's talk about the importance of ground fault circuit interrupter protection. The National Electrical Code requires ground fault circuit interrupter protection for all receptacles serving countertop surfaces in kitchens. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults and interrupting the circuit quickly. This is particularly important in kitchens where water and electrical appliances are often used together. The specific requirements for ground fault circuit interrupter protection can be found in Article 210.8 of the National Electrical Code. This section outlines the locations where ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required, including kitchen countertops, bathrooms, and outdoor areas. It is crucial to understand and adhere to these requirements to ensure electrical safety. In addition to ground fault circuit interrupter protection, arc fault circuit interrupter protection is also becoming increasingly common in residential electrical systems. Arc fault circuit interrupters are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. While arc fault circuit interrupter protection is not specifically required for small appliance branch circuits in kitchens, it is often recommended as an added layer of safety. Arc fault circuit interrupters can help to prevent electrical fires by detecting and interrupting arc faults before they have a chance to ignite nearby materials. Let's consider the impact of appliance energy efficiency. Modern appliances are designed to be more energy efficient than older models. This can reduce the overall load on small appliance branch circuits, but it is still important to calculate the load carefully to ensure that the circuits are not overloaded. When selecting appliances for a kitchen, consider their energy consumption rating. Look for appliances that are Energy Star certified, as these appliances meet strict energy efficiency guidelines. Using energy-efficient appliances can help to reduce your electricity bill and minimize the risk of overloading small appliance branch circuits. Here are some tips for planning kitchen receptacle layout. Carefully plan the location of receptacles to ensure that they are conveniently located for all of your countertop appliances. Consider the placement of small appliances such as toasters, coffee makers, and blenders when determining receptacle locations. Provide ample receptacle outlets to avoid the need for extension cords, which can be a safety hazard. Space receptacle outlets evenly along countertops to distribute the electrical load. Ensure that all receptacle outlets are accessible and not obstructed by cabinets or appliances. In addition to receptacle outlets, consider the need for dedicated circuits for larger appliances such as refrigerators and microwaves. These appliances typically require their own dedicated circuits to ensure proper operation. Consult the appliance manufacturer's instructions for specific electrical requirements. When planning a kitchen renovation or new construction project, work with a qualified electrician to ensure that the electrical system is properly designed and installed. A qualified electrician can help you to determine the appropriate number of circuits and receptacle outlets for your kitchen. They can also ensure that the electrical system complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Let's talk about the importance of proper wiring techniques. Proper wiring techniques are essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of small appliance branch circuits. Use the correct wire size for the circuit capacity as specified in the National Electrical Code. Make sure all electrical connections are secure and properly insulated. Avoid using backstab connections on receptacles and switches, as these connections can loosen over time. Use wire connectors to join wires together, and make sure the connectors are properly sized for the number and size of wires being joined. When running wires through walls and ceilings, protect them from damage by using conduit or cable clamps. Follow all applicable codes and regulations when installing electrical wiring. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to avoid electrical shock or fire. Here's a summary of key points. Small appliance branch circuits are essential for providing power to countertop appliances and refrigeration in kitchens. The National Electrical Code requires at least 220 amp small appliance branch circuits in kitchens. These circuits must serve all countertop receptacles and refrigeration equipment. The no other outlets rule means that these circuits cannot supply lighting, dedicated appliance circuits, or general purpose receptacles not associated with countertops. Ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required for all receptacles serving countertop surfaces in kitchens. Work with a qualified electrician to ensure that your kitchen electrical system is properly designed and installed. By understanding and following these guidelines, you can ensure the safety and functionality of your kitchen electrical system. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity, and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. Remember, proper planning, installation, and maintenance are key to a safe and efficient electrical system. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is always best to seek professional assistance.